All righty. So Brock, how you been? It's been a while. You've been doing a lot of stuff with the real estate license. So you want to kick us off and tell us a little bit about what you've been up to?
Yes, well, I started here.
Thank you.
Okay.
Nice to see you, man.
It has been a quite a journey the last 6 months for me. I as most I don't know who else on the call, but I started out investing in multifamily, and I decided to get my realtor's license. And me and my wife just completed our realtor's license. My wife just started training this week, and I will actually officially probably get the paperwork and sign up this week to officially have my license hung with an agent broker. I'm going to be brokering with Keller Williams out of Woodstock.
Nice. So you both decided to get your realtor's license at the same time?
Yep.
That's crazy. That's awesome,
It
though.
is crazy.
It is
It's
crazy because
pretty.
you don't hear too many couples like they did it at the same time and everything. But that's
Yep.
exciting, man. It's cool that you guys could be talking about real estate back and forth, and
Yep.
that's a lot of fun. So congrats on that, on passing the test.
Yep. She will be the face of our agency because I work full time still. So I'm doing it just so I can kind of help her. Maybe if she needs a showing or a listing or open house, I can kind of be the resource behind the scenes for her to start with.
Yeah, that sounds great. That's a great husband right there that's willing to do that. Let me there's some more people trickling in, so let me let them in. Elizabeth, hi and welcome to Multifamily Investor Nation. Thank you for joining us. Just so you know, when we start off, we basically just do quick introductions. So if you would let us know a little bit more about you and what you're currently doing in the multifamily space.
Hey, hi. Can y'all
Hi.
hear me well?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, awesome. So nice to meet y'all. Thank you for having me.
Pleasure.
I am new to real estate. I'm actually a nurse working in biotech, but I'm very interested in rental properties and getting more information and networking as well. I'm currently also getting ready for work, so that's why my camera's off. But
Okay.
I am grateful to be in this space with y'all. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much for joining us today. And honestly, I just got off of work like 2 minutes ago. So I had to like jump off, get ready myself, jump on here. But you know, I do have a presentation ready to go for you guys. So there's a lot of good information to share with you today. And I'm glad you're here. So thank you for joining us, especially when you're getting ready right before going to work. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
And Jeff, if you would, what we're doing is going around the room, just introducing ourselves, telling a little bit more about what we're currently doing. And if you're currently in the multifamily space, just let us know about that and a little bit more about you, if you will.
Sure. Thanks for hosting this. My name is Jeff Williams. I'm a broker for Trust Commercial Real Estate here in the Conroe, which is North Houston, Texas area. And yes, been a broker on my own here for a couple of years. Been in commercial real estate for about 7 years. Have sold multifamily, a multifamily property, a larger property in the past, and that's something that I focus on in addition to serving other real estate clients I have from past connections and stuff.
Cool. And those other past clients, that's more single family, would you say?
No, I don't do any residential. Actually, I own a residential brokerage, but I don't do residential myself. I have, for example, I'm doing an office lease for a CPA client, about 5,000 square feet. I have an oil and gas company that I do, what do you call it, commercial services for, corporate services for, from my previous life in the IT world years ago. So I support that company and help them buy and lease properties. So that kind of stuff.
Right on. And you said you're currently in Houston, correct?
Yep. North part of Houston.
That is so cool. I just got back from there. I was there the week of the 10th through the 18th. Spent a week in Houston, another few days in San Antonio. And Brock, you'd be happy to know that we actually went to see Viva Max. We went to tour the property. I went with myself and my wife and my son, so that was a lot of fun as well. It's basically a property we were raising capital on, and I call it the one that got away because even though we raised all the capital, the deal still did not go through. Um, there's sometimes things happen like that, and it wasn't on our end. It was more on the seller side. I think the transaction took longer than they would have liked. So at the end, they decided to go and just take the property off the market for a while. But it was really exciting and really fun to go with my family and to check out Houston and Texas and Viva Max. So right on. And congrats on what you're doing, Jeff. That's really cool. Being a broker. I tried my hand at multifamily brokerage. I'll tell you, it was very hard. It was a lot of cold calling. I was doing about 50 to 100 cold calls per day. And I was just kind of like testing it out to see if it would be something that would work for me. But I'll tell you, I don't think everyone could do it. So the fact that you could do it, kudos to you. It's a tough job for sure.
It's painful. Thank you.
To say the least. So thank you for that, Jeff. All right, guys. Right now that I know of, we only have us for right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get us started right away here. Bear with me while we jump into the content. So today, our content for the day is going to be finding multifamily investments. And, it's a great topic. There's a lot of places you could go to find properties. And the best thing to do is to be creative when you're looking for properties. Hi, everyone. My name is Carlos D. Reinoso. Let me get on screen here for a sec. Ready? Let's see. There we are. Hi, everyone. Again, my name is Carlos D. Reinoso. I'm your host for Multifamily Investor Nation Monday Meetups. And the topic for today is going to be finding multifamily investments. Last week, we were telling you about the Meetup. It was basically MFIN Con. It was held in Charlotte, South Carolina, and it was June 23rd through the 25th. Yes, that is Shaquille O'Neal. Barbara Corcoran was there, and Jocko Willink was there as well. He's basically a Navy SEAL. He's written 2 great books as well. I highly recommend you read them. So just look up Jocko Willink. But this was a great event. I've heard a lot from the investor friends of mine that went. I couldn't go. I was actually in Texas and Florida in that time, previous vacation that I scheduled from last year. But I'm sure this was awesome. And PS, if you guys want the recording of this event, it is still available. I believe they're selling it for about $300 or less. And the best part is you'll have access to not just this one, but past events as well. So I'd highly recommend it. Last I heard, there was at least 300 investors at the event. All right. So a little bit about me. Up here it says negotiating and submitting your first multifamily offer. I have to have changed that. But basically, my name is Carlos D. Reinoso. I'm the co-organizer for Multifamily Investor Nation. I'm also a founder and CEO of my company, Canis Major Investment Capital, LLC. I'm a managing partner, general partner, and capital raiser. And like I said earlier, for those of you that were here, this was Viva Max, my 240 unit property, and this is getting ahead of itself, in San Antonio, Texas, and it was a 240 unit. And again, I call this one the one that got away, because although all the equity was properly raised and we were all set to close, the seller did change his mind at last minute. So this property did not close. And if anyone else is interested, again, it's in San Antonio, a 506 Bravo. B as in Bravo, it is still active and available if someone might be interested. I'm the author of the book, Selling Secrets You Can't Afford to Miss. Usually have it right here with me. I was just reading it again the other day. Thank you. Brock has my book. Thank you, Brock, for sharing it. Selling Secrets You Can't Afford to Miss. And thank you also for that awesome review, Brock. I really appreciate that. This was me being interviewed on the Best Real Estate Investing Advice Ever podcast with Joe Fairlist and Ash Patel. The property, the Viva Max property, 506 240 units in San Antonio, Texas. As you're coming in, please give us your name and email, and all those who provide their name and email will receive any free webinar video, how to get started in multifamily. And that's basically a video that Dan Handford himself has produced and is sharing with the audience as well. Please go check out my YouTube channel, Carlos D. Reinoso, for more videos and great content like this one. You could like and subscribe, and if possible, leave me a nice comment. It does help me with the algorithm. You could follow me on all social medias, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And you could join us also at the next Multifamily Investor Nation Meetup, which is going to take place in January. And you could use my promo code CANIS. You can see up here in the screen, CANIS. You could save $200 off the price of admission. Also, lately, a lot of viewers have been reaching out about a meetup group that would be beneficial for someone getting started. Just so you guys know, this is one that I highly recommend. It's strategic partner membership with David Monroe. David is excuse me for a second. Excuse me, Jeff, you would know about this. David is a CCIM instructor with the CCIM Institute, and he teaches basically on how to analyze property and also how to analyze the deal as well and the markets. Highly recommend his mentorship program. I'm part of it as well. So is Brock and some of our partners that were raising capital on our last deal as well. We hope you'll stick around till the end for more networking opportunities and the content. Here, you see myself, the left photo, that's me right outside Viva Max. Let me see if I could go back here. Yeah, outside Viva Max. This is a property we went to see. This is right outside one of the buildings. This is from left to right, my son, myself, and my wife here in the photo. We were having too much fun. We love, like, even my wife and my son, they're also into multifamily like me. And, you know, anytime we have a chance to do something like this together, we all try to go. And we definitely had a nice business family trip in Texas. By the way, I love Texas. I definitely want to go visit there again. Here's on my website. It's currently under construction. We're still making some updates to it. But please check back periodically because there will be some updates coming up here. And anytime we have a property under contract or someone that I know it has a property under contract and is willing to share the details, I could also post it there as well. So I hope you guys will check into that. And again, my website is Canis Major Investment Capital LLC. All right, so without further ado, here's the content for today. And how do we find multifamily deals? Like, everybody's trying to figure out, especially in this day and age where, you know, the interest rates have gone up. There's a scarcity mentality out there. People are worried that there aren't any great deals. So the question is, how do you find these deals? And we're gonna review that real quick. Gonna go over two separate categories, if you will. One is less than 100 units, and the second category will be 100 units or more. If you guys know, for the most part in this meetup, and Brock, I'm sure you've noticed, usually I have a background here with MFIN or my website or something to that effect. But I'm deciding just to go, you know, with a plain background. That way, you know, you guys could see my little studio. I have nothing to hide or nothing like that. But I just want you guys to know that this is my studio, the same place, without the virtual background. So, all right. So one of the things you want to do is you want to send mailers, and those mailers, you want to base them on a list. So before you decide on your list, you definitely want to pick your target avatar, if you will. And, you know, like, for instance, mine is engineers, anything from 30 to 40 to 65 years of age. They are professionals, usually engineers. What else? definitely people that are into multifamily, definitely people that are into investing. So that's my avatar. I know how to find them. I know where they're at, and I find them where they're at. I go to them. I don't try to, bring them to me necessarily. I find them where they're at, and then I try to bring them to me so that we could possibly work together on deals. You want to hire a web scraper and have them search apartments.com for to cross-reference the tax data database. You want to also filter out by owner taste, like what the owners are looking for, or the asset types. And also another category possibly is assets in foreclosure. That's one of the things, one of the property types that I've always prided myself in, and being able to get under contract. So, I've always been good with short sales and foreclosures. So when I go after single family or greater, in this sense, multifamily 100 units or plus, I'm always trying to go after either mom and pops or short sale or foreclosures or off market properties, if you will. Other places you could check: Craigslist for owner operators looking for tenants. You want to capture their contact information and create a database, if you will, or a CRM, and kind of have a side category specifically for these sellers of multifamily properties. So it just makes it easier later on when you're looking for, for mailers to mail it out. It's so much easier when you have one CRM that's everything is right there and set up for you. Also, CoStar is a great place. If you can't afford CoStar, once again, strategic partnership mentor program also has access to CoStar. So if you do find a property and you don't have access yet, but you are part of the mentorship program, you can reach out to David Monroe and ask him for the CoStar report, and he'll actually be able to send you a CoStar report with either all the information on that property, or B, with like a seller list of off-market deals that are found in CoStar for your specific city. So I highly recommend, if not strategic partnership, join some kind of mentor program, because a lot of them do offer access to CoStar and other, bonus material as well. Definitely want to check out Land Vision. It's going to give you a lot of information about the actual the land surrounding the property, the land at the property, and additional information of the area. Also apartments.com, which is owned by CoStar as well. Zillow, for basic information, Zillow and Trulia could be beneficial. Sometimes the MLS, you could find expired listings. And, Brock, as realtors, and a lot of times what realtors do, myself being a realtor of over 20 years now, we try to target, expired listings, reach out to those, because it's a low hanging fruit. And sometimes you could get great deals on there. So I highly recommend checking your multiple listing service for expired properties. And sometimes, you'll see some for sale by owners. With multifamily, not so much. But sometimes, yeah, you could see maybe 4 and 5 units there that are owned by mom and pops as well. Excuse me. So you also want to build relationships with property managers. And again, there's a multiple modal approach to this. And basically, one, the property managers could possibly give you like a CoStar report if you build a good rapport with them for maybe 1 or 2 properties. And I believe they're going to be more inclined to work with you if, they have the feeling that as soon as you do get a property, you're going to be working with them, or you're going to want to hire them on. So, quid pro quo, if you will, if you're going to ask for something, keep in mind that nobody works for free, guys, but you could build a relationship and give them something in return later. Maybe refer a client, maybe when you close on that property that they gave you the report for, kind of reach out to them and say, listen, I'm going to ask you some questions. I'd like for you guys to be our our property manager on this property as well. You want to check the county and city list of buildings with code violations. And this is an easy one because if usually mom and pops are, if they own property and there's a lot of code violations, especially if they're overdue, that's a sign that they're having trouble with the property. So a good thing to do there would be to reach out to your city and county for code violations, and even better, establish a relationship with those people and let them know, listen, I'd like to be placed on your list. Anytime you have properties with code violations, or maybe once a month, you could go ahead and email me that list, and I'd be more than happy to look into that. And then no matter what process you use, follow up with a multi-step sequence, or what I was calling the multimodal approach, which is, don't only just email them, you want to also, maybe put them on a newsletter, on a monthly newsletter, add them to your LinkedIn, which is a great place for other people to network and get to know you better. And that way they're also going to see your group of people and see that, look at Carlos, he's got over 3,000 investor colleagues on LinkedIn. This is a person that we definitely want to work with, and a person that could possibly give them referrals as well. Give me a quick second. Yeah, and thank you guys for entering your contact information on here. I'll go ahead and share my contact info toward the end as well. But this is good because not only do I see it, but Dan and the passive investing team, they'll be seeing it and possibly reaching out to you as well. And again, the multimodal approach is not just email, but call them, send them a text every so often. Like when you reach out to them, don't just reach out in vain asking for something. My approach is always, let's give something first. And then once we've established a relationship, later on, if something comes up where I feel like, oh man, I really could use a CoStar report from this property manager, by then I've already given them something up front. I've already added value to them. And I've also built the relationship before I ask. Personally, and I've said this before, personally, when I'm on LinkedIn, one thing I've never liked, and I get that very often, it's usually from newbies, is when somebody comes in, meets me for the first time, I accept their friend or colleague request, and the very first message from them is, let me sell you this. Here's my product. You should buy it. And I'm like, I don't know anything about you. Where do you come from? Where do you live? How long have you been in business? And it's not, like, I'm very open and I'll talk to anybody and I'll talk to everyone. Actually, I'm a people person, but I just like, before you try to sell me something, get to know me and let me get to know you just a little bit before you try to, it's just like when you go to a clothing store. As soon as you walk in, can I help you? You kind of want to say, give me some time. If I find something that I like, I'll definitely reach out to you and have you come help me with this product. So definitely, I'd like, when people, when they're reaching out, get to know the people first before you try to pitch them anything. I think you're going to get better results that way. And then when you're dealing with 100+ units, you want to identify the brokers that specialize in multifamily. Jeff, right here on the call today, he's a broker that specializes in multifamily. Get to know others that are dealing with multifamily properties, and because you can't just reach out to a regular single family agent and say, okay, send me 100+ units. They won't even know where to start. So you definitely want to reach out to a broker that specializes in multifamily assets. Get on their mailing list, call them up, take them out to lunch, bring them coffee, build rapport, build a relationship with these brokers. Because in the end, most investors that I have spoken with and who are getting deals, back-to-back deals, they all have strong relationships with brokers. So Jeff, personally, I would definitely like to touch base with you again after we network and everything else, because I'm always looking to network with brokers, and I believe we could have some synergies and might be able to help each other out as well. So thank you. Be present. When they have a property for sale, go check out their property, go tour the property, give them some feedback on the property, let them know that, okay, this might not be the type of property that you're looking for. Like, let's say maybe it's only 80 units and you only want to work 100 plus. But being there lets them know that you're active in the market, lets them know that, hey, this guy is actively searching properties, and he came to look at the property, he shared some feedback. I really liked his vibe. He was a great guy. We had fun. He took me out to coffee, whatever the case might be. But, be top of mind. Get in front of them. Let them know that you're serious and you're not a tire kicker. Because even myself, and I'm sure Jeff, and I'm sure now Brock and other realtors and brokers, we can identify a tire kicker a mile away, because when you're serious, you come across as, someone who's devoted, who's very serious. But when you're a tire kicker, you're kind of like iffy about things. You're iffy about things. You're not sure. And it kind of like, it's almost like we could smell it on you. And, with all due respect, but it's almost like we could tell when you're not serious or when you're still learning and everything else. So definitely, yeah, get to know them and let them know that you're really out there looking at properties, and give them some feedback whenever possible. Submit the LOIs, the letter of intent. Some people say, oh, I'm not going to submit the LOI because my offer is way low and I know they're not going to take it. Submit it anyway. And the main reason I say that is because there's been deals that, not just myself, because it has happened to me, but other people have put in offers, and at first, they get turned down and they go with another buyer, and Lord and behold, the deal falls through for that buyer, and they'll call you back and they'll say, listen, the deal fell through. Are you still interested in going under contract on this deal? And if you're all set and ready to go, then you just got yourself awarded a deal that you just lost. So that's a great way to do it. You'd be surprised how many times a lowball offer gets accepted. So even if it's a lowball LOI, letter of intent, go ahead and submit it, and then be ready to move quickly if they do if they do accept your somebody else is trying to get in here. Bear with me while I let them in. Yeah, submit your LOI anyway, and you'd be surprised how sometimes they're going to be accepted, and they'll come back to you sometimes. CoStar can help you find assets, but it's not, you'll still need the broker relationships as your lender broker for CoStar reports. If you don't have an account, reach out to either a lender or a broker and ask them for a CoStar report on any properties that you might have interest in. All right, guys, that pretty much concludes my theme for today. Basically, finding multifamily deals or multifamily assets. Next month's topic is still to be determined. We're not sure if we're going to go again with capital raising or possibly analyzing the market. So stick around and we'll definitely let you know at meetups.com. Next up, we're going to be jumping into the breakout rooms. Jerome, if you would, as you're coming in, give us some of your contact information here in the chat box. You could go ahead and put it down there. Also, anyone who gives us their email address will receive a getting started in multifamily webinar video. So definitely share that information. And we're going to go ahead and get started with the breakout rooms. But just before we jump into there, I want to give a second. If anybody has any questions whatsoever, about the content that I shared on how to find multifamily deals for 100 units or less, or 100 units or more, please go ahead and ask your questions. You can put them in the chat box, or you could raise your hands and I'll be monitoring both. Here you have my contact information, my phone number, email, business number, websites, my Facebook page, and also my calendar link. If anybody wants to schedule a call, you could go ahead and set up a call with me through there. All right. Any questions? If not, we could go ahead and jump into the breakout rooms. I'm going to go ahead and stop share. Brock, you got anything?
No, I'm good. Thanks.
Sounds good. I appreciate that. All righty. Thank you for that, Jerome. You guys have my contact information on here.